Most people want to become managers, but not everyone should. And for a lot of people, it's where their career quietly starts to break because many don't actually understand what the role is. And no, this is not about capability. We've all been taught to think of our career as a straight path: junior, senior, team lead, manager. It looks like a natural progression, like you're moving up. And if someone asks you, where do you see yourself in 3 years? Almost everyone gives the same answer: I want to be a manager. But here's the problem. That answer isn't always a real goal. Sometimes it just feels like the only answer. And chasing it without understanding what the job actually is might be one of the most common career mistakes people make. And the reason this happens is because of how we think about career progression. Career progression from junior to senior to team lead, that's an expansion of your job scope, from simpler work to more complex work. You're still doing the same type of work with more responsibility and bigger impact. You're still solving problems, still delivering results, still judged by what you produce at a larger scale. And because it looks like progression, no one questions it. But here's what most people don't realize. You're not moving into a completely different role. You're doing more of the same, just at a higher level. So naturally, after a few years, manager starts to feel like the next step. But becoming a manager is not a continuation of that path. It's a break from it. It's a completely different job. You're not moving up, you're switching tracks. You spent years getting good at something, solving problems, delivering results, building expertise. You know what you're doing, end to end. That became your identity, not just your job, who you are. And then one day, you get promoted, and you stop growing in that area. You stop doing the thing you spent years mastering. You're no longer the one solving the problems or delivering the results. Someone else is, and your job now is to help them do it. That's a harder transition than most people expect. And most people don't realize how uncomfortable that feels until they're already in it, because it's not just a change in tasks, it's a change in who you are at work. Your relationship with your colleagues changes. You're no longer just teammates. Some of them now report to you, and no one warns you about that part. You get promoted, and suddenly you're expected to lead people, handle conflicts, make decisions, without ever being trained for it. But the training gap, that's fixable. The identity shift takes much longer. As an individual contributor, you control your output. You know the problem, you know how to fix it. And if something goes wrong, you fix it. That's part of the job, it's expected. But as a manager, you don't control the work anymore. Now your results depend on other people, a team of people. They are the ones doing the work, solving the problems, delivering the results, and you are responsible for the outcome, all of it. Without doing the work yourself, your name is on the result, but someone else is doing the work. So the real question is, are you comfortable trusting other people with results? Because if you're not, this role will frustrate you. You're responsible for everything, but not in full control, and that creates pressure most people are not prepared for. When things go wrong, you feel it, but you can't just jump in and fix everything yourself. And if you try to, you start to overcompensate. You ask for constant updates. You give instructions for everything. You try to control every step, not because you're bad, but because you don't know how to let go yet. That's how micromanagement starts. And here's what makes it worse. Your team feels it before you even realize it's happening. Trust quietly breaks down. People stop bringing you real problems. They tell you what you want to hear, and slowly, you lose the very thing you were trying to protect. And this is where most people start to question whether they actually want this role at all. So before you decide, understand what the role actually is. Being a manager isn't about you. It's about your team. Your job is no longer to deliver the work. It's to make sure your team can. That's the whole job. And if that doesn't excite you, that's not a weakness. That's clarity. And that clarity might be pointing you somewhere better, because there's another path, and most people never realize it. What if your edge isn't leading people, but becoming someone hard to replace? The engineer who understands the system so deeply that when something breaks, they're the one people turn to. The analyst who sees what the numbers are really saying when everyone else is guessing. They may not manage anyone, but when they're gone, the business feels it. That's not settling. That's a different kind of ambition, and it's completely valid. And if you do want to become a manager, that's a completely different skill set. Management is the right path for some people. If you genuinely enjoy developing others, making decisions through people, and building something bigger than yourself, it can be deeply rewarding. But succeeding as a new manager is a completely different challenge because a lot of people don't actually want to manage people. They just don't realize there's another way to grow. So before you aim for that next promotion, ask yourself this: do you actually want to manage people, or do you just want to move up? Because those two paths lead to completely different lives.